Ray Jimenez here. Last summer, my family and I went for a road trip, a 1,500-mile road trip. So we went to see the national parks. So we went to Utah, Arizona, and California. We started at the Bryce Canyon. We went into Zion, and then we went into Moab, where the arches are, and then to the Monuments Mountains, and then we finally ended up in the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon was superb. No words to describe it. Along the way, by the time we approached Grand Canyon, my car, which is newly bought, started leaking coolant. So now we were worried what to do with it. And in our research, there was no shop at all in the Grand Canyon. So we had to drive another 60 miles to Needles in order to be able to get something in order to change our car or get some coolant to replace it. Lo and behold, we drove 60 miles more. We okay. When we arrived there, the entire engine just stopped. There was bleeding of coolant, and we couldn't drive the car. Remember, this was already 2 hours, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So now we have to make a decision, and we are in the middle of Needles. And Needles is about 60 miles in between the 150-mile stretch of the Mojave Desert. And during the day, this was the day that it was 130 degrees. So now we have to make a decision. Do we rent a car? By the way, there are no cars. Do we go to the airport and fly a plane? There were no airports and fly a plane. There were no available cars, and the restaurant, and of course, are there. But then you're talking about Days Inn as a place to stay. So meanwhile, when we drove there, we couldn't figure it out. It's a mixture of emotions. I was worried about safety. I was worried about the cost because we couldn't bring our car to a shop because there was no shops available altogether. So finally, we made a decision to call up my son, which is like about 4 hours away, to pick us up. So I ride home at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were all safe. The entire trip was a great experience. But I wanted to share with you what happened when I had to make those decision-making process. Emotions was mixed. I was watching my family. I was watching the money, of course. I was watching safety. And then I always ask myself, am I getting and arriving at the right decision? I'm reflecting when we do a training program. Sometimes we tell them the correct answers. This is the way to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We never train our learners to think what if would happen in a crisis situation. And this is an example of a crisis situation that one could not hardly prepare. So my reflection and my invitation to you is whenever you have a training program, figure out the way, maybe or perhaps we should find a way to help the learners think through a crisis situation. I keep on doing that right now because I know that in real life, lessons and programs only become valuable when they can do it in an exceptional, uncertain, and unpredictable moment. Think about it.